thanks so much. Well, now we're looking ahead to next Sunday. That's December 1st. The date marks World AIDS Day across the globe. It's a time to unite people in the fight against HIV and AIDS.
And not only is it a time to commemorate lives lost to HIV and AIDS, but also to help end the stigma for those affected by the virus. Joining us in studio to talk about a local program supporting long-term HIV survivors is Troy Preble, manager of the Aging Well program with the Cascade AIDS Project, and development coordinator Keegan Perez. Thank you both for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Glad you're here. Appreciate your time.
I think this is a wonderful opportunity to put a spotlight on this program ahead of World AIDS Day. Troy, tell us a little bit about how this program is focused on survivors living with HIV.
Yeah, so Aging Well is a program that serves people aging with HIV and long-term survivors, many of which are long-term survivors. We aim to reduce stigma, to improve health and wellness, and end isolation.
Well, I want to dive into the stigma side of this because, of course, that was, in the 80s and in the 90s, and I'm not going to say that it's gone away, but it was a much different stigma than as it is now. What is the stigma that is still being fought here in 2024?
There's still stigma around having HIV. A lot of our members are afraid to disclose their HIV status to anyone that they don't know, personally, like in a friend group. And so we provide a safe, comfortable place where people can talk about HIV and having HIV and the things that they go through.
Because of course the picture for living with HIV looks very different now than it did in previous decades. So talk about kind of where things do sit. HIV and AIDS is not the death sentence, frankly, that it was when we first started to learn about this virus.
So I was diagnosed with AIDS and I was 26 years old. So I was a 26-year-old with a death sentence. And that was in 1994. And so in 1997, a new class of medications came out called protease inhibitors, and that ended reproduction of HIV in the body. And so the immune system could recover. So being diagnosed before 1997 was a completely different experience than post 1997. And so it's really important to mark the day, the event, as a time to remember those we lost and a time to just kind of honor how far we've come. It's really important.
That is important. I'm glad we have the chance to do that. Keegan, how is the program reaching out to HIV survivors, during this, and how are you keeping this mission alive and well that we're talking about here this morning?
Yeah, so Aging Well and CAP's Ambassador Council, we're going to have 5 speakers talk about their stories of survival, what it took to overcome, and the resilience it took to overcome the AIDS era, the height of the AIDS epidemic. At that time, the event is free. It's a family-friendly event. We're going to have snacks, beer, and wine for those over 21. The event is located at the Old Church on Southwest 11th Avenue. The event will be on November 30th. Doors open at 1, and the event will be at 2 o'clock.
Great,
How important is it, Keegan, to be able to have events like this for people to see people truly living with HIV and to have some of those conversations to start to break down some of that stigma? Oh,
100%. I mean, my uncle passed away of AIDS in the early 2000s. Events like World AIDS Day or AIDS Walk, for me, is an extra special day to remember him. There is still a stigma where if you go to events like this, people think, you're living with HIV or like you're affected with it. Events like this is, to break the stigma and just to show people that there's, people living with HIV, living healthy lives, and that the stories are important to share.
Yeah, the power of conversation, right? Sometimes just talking about it, and normalizing it. It's great to be able to do that here.
And then, so of course, Saturday's event, we hope everyone's going to come out and check that out. If they want to reach out to CAP, so many programs all year long that you guys provide support for, how can folks get in touch if they want to learn more?
If they want to learn more, they can go to CAP's website. And we also have an Aging Well website, which is agingwellnw.org. And they can see different tabs, see our events that are happening, how to contact us. It's all on there.
That's great.
Well, wonderful.
Yeah, Troy and Keegan, thanks for coming in. This is great to talk about. I'm glad we had the chance to do it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Of course. And again, World AIDS Day, that event in Portland happening this Saturday at 2 p.m. at the Old Church. To learn more about the event and how you can support their mission, go to agingwellnw.org. It is 8:12 right now.